Ladies and gentlemen, 2 years. They spent 2 years investigating President Trump. They found absolutely nothing. The evidence was not sufficient to charge President Trump or anyone around him for collusion or working with Russia. That is a fantasy. It never happened. Then they fall back on, well, they interfered in the election. How? By informing the country that Bernie Sanders was cheated? How did they interfere? When Hillary Clinton, when Madam Cyberhack, the Golden Muumuu, says, we should all be worried about a foreign government interfering in our election. Well, the DNC is not U.S. democracy or, quote, our election, end quote. If the DNC allegedly is hacked by Russia, we have no clue if it was. CrowdStrike was outsourced by Democrats. We're relying on CrowdStrike images of DNC servers. We have no clue if they're pristine. Even James Comey was like, well, best practices are if the FBI looks at them. The United States government never looked at DNC servers. But anyway, let's assume that Russia did indeed hack the DNC. They informed the country that a Democratic candidate, Bernie Sanders, was being cheated by the Democratic Party. That's why Deborah Wasserman Schultz, if you say a derogatory word about Deborah Wasserman, you'll have me to contend with. Bernie might as well be Debbie Wasserman Schultz's intern or Tom Perez's, intern or working at the DNC. You have a situation where they cheated Bernie Sanders. They blamed Russia for informing the country that Bernie was cheated. We have Facebook ads that not one Democrat, not one person on the planet can say influenced X amount of people. We don't even know which Facebook ads had the most impact in swing states. They're lying. The deception is so easily refuted. The claims are so easily refuted, it's unbelievable. But William Barr knows exactly why the great Mueller, the special counsel, the saint, won't testify. One of the reasons why he won't testify, key figure that Mueller report linked to Russia was a State Department intel source. Why is everyone linked to the State Department? And a key finding of the Mueller report, Ukrainian businessman who worked for Trump campaign chairman Paul Manafort is tied to Russian intelligence, but this is John Solomon, who is absolutely phenomenal. He's at the forefront, along with Sarah Carter and Kimberly Strassel, and obviously Paul Sperry and Dan Bongino and Joe DeGeneva and Victoria Tenzing and Tom Fitton. But he is at the forefront in terms of journalism regarding all of this, but hundreds of pages of government documents which special counsel Mueller possessed since 2018 describe the Ukrainian businessman as a sensitive intelligence source for the U.S. State Department who informed on Ukraine and Russian matters. So this guy, Konstantin Kilimnik, not only is this person linked to the State Department, but you have Joseph Mifsud, who is linked to the State Department. Joseph Mifsud, State Department. So, Congressman Devin Nunes, Joseph Mifsud, linked to the State Department. It's just unbelievable. How many of these people are linked to the State Department? You have two people in the Mueller report, two of the major people linked directly to the State Department. It's really hilarious, too, because it all goes, gee, who was Secretary of State? The Golden Muumuu. Who's running again? Yes, she's running again. People say, how could she run again if she's like... They turn into like Harry Carey. How could she run again if she's a criminal? I mean, you have a criminal running. But then she's gonna be prosecuted. How can you run if you're a criminal? It's like, yeah, you still could. She was a criminal in 2016. You still can. She could be indicted tomorrow. She'd still run.
How is it even possible?
I love that. I mean, I love everybody who watches my channel. Are you kidding me? And I love the indignation.
Would you stop saying every single time she's running? She's not running. Loses a pop-up in the sun. How could you run when you've been the biggest criminal in U.S. history?
Yeah, it doesn't matter, okay? She's running again. And nobody on the left has any say. They don't have a political party. They have an extension of Bill and Hillary. Can you hold my extension? Oh, that's what I'm talking about. So, guess who was Secretary of State? Yes, Madam Cyberhack, the golden moo-moo, the levitating golden moo-moo. When she decides to run, she'll just levitate above the DNC headquarters and throngs of liberals and disgruntled progressives. Really? I don't want her to run. You don't have a say. Sorry. I love it when people on the way far left, because I used to be there. And I used to tell people, hey, you know what? You got a criminal and you got Bernie Sanders. And now, of course, we found out Bernie Sanders was not very courageous, pretty cowardly. Oh, yeah, I was cheated. My fault. My fault. Let me just foment the same belief that said that Russia interfered. And you know when they're going to vote for a Medicare for All bill? When the Messiah comes. That's when they'll vote for the Medicare for All. First, the Messiah is going to come down. Then the Medicare for All. They're not voting Medicare for All. And people on the left are like, it's getting to the point where I almost feel bad. Even the people who not the people who dislike me. The people who dislike me are like, yeah, Medicare for All, man. People who dislike H.A. Goodman are like, Medicare for All, man. You own the House. You could vote on it. Why don't you vote on it? Oh, okay, that's right. That's right. AOC is still wondering if the garbage disposal was a diabolical plot by Mitch McConnell to poke a hole in her sink. Then you hear well, I just didn't grow up with it. I never grew up with a bidet. I don't think it's a drinking fountain, But anyway, these are the people you have to listen to, to drastically transform the economy. High-speed rail to Hawaii. Okay. Even the AFL-CIO is against it. And I explained in my Federalist article, if you want electric vehicles, electric car batteries run, or they rely on cobalt. The world's cobalt is found in the Democratic Republic of the Congo. People in the Congo, indigenous communities that AOC and everyone else on the left claims to love, would be decimated by the political and environmental damage caused by a ramp up and increase in demand for cobalt. The mining of cobalt is very dangerous. It's a metal that's very dangerous to mine. Causes a great deal of pollution and political chaos. Same with lithium and nickel. These are metals needed for car batteries to run properly. But don't tell the left that, don't tell them, A, because they don't care, and B, they have a morality. They get off on pretending to be morally superior. That's what makes their day. It's not actually being morally superior, it's pretending to. But you have people who were linked to the State Department. So obviously, why would Mueller testify? When he was giving his 10-minute nonsensical irrational speech, I just want, what was he? I forgot it. He sounded like this like a character in Trading Places. Just this stodgy hold, stodgy. This is the last time I'll be ever speaking about the Mueller report, and just want to let you know that President Trump is an orange bad person, a really bad human being. Bye-bye. Don't ask any more questions of me. And the left is now they're focusing on John Dowd's voicemail. Well, we see a criminal act here. Oh yeah, Mueller overlooked that. Yeah, that's a Mueller. The Mueller report could have simply stated Trump committed crimes. We can't indict him, but you know what? There are crimes. Impeach him based on these crimes. Legal statute 1 that he broke. Legal statute 2. They could have done that, but they didn't. They didn't. Because there were no statutes that he broke. On Clinton's end, she did break statutes. Although there are potential violations of legal statutes, no reasonable prosecutor. How do you know, Comey? And everybody, we all know. I mean, my Federalist article that was talked about by Rush Limbaugh, that's below in the pinned comment. We all know this is a complete farce and all roads lead to Clinton. Who's running again? The Golden Muumuu 2020. Golden Muumuu 2020. Madam Cyberhack 2020. So you have Joseph Mifsud, one of the direct ties linked to the State Department. You have this Ukrainian businessman that said, oh yeah, contact with Russia. No, linked to the State Department. Natalia Veselnitskaya was allowed into the country. This is the Trump Jr. meeting. Was allowed into the country by Attorney General Loretta Lynch, who, by the way, says that James Comey committed perjury, because James Comey under oath said Attorney General Lynch told him to call it a matter, and he felt queasy and confused. But we're supposed to listen to him because he's so smart. So whenever he's caught with his pants down, I was confused and queasy. Oh, you were? You were confused and queasy? How did you become FBI director to protect this nation against, serious threats? Oh, my God. Lord knows how our adversaries and real enemies, how much power they amassed during the wonderful President Obama years. I mean, Lord knows when you had the biggest imbeciles and political hacks protecting this country. John O'Brien. I mean, they're focused on Facebook. James Clapper. They focused on Facebook ads. That's what their whole thing is. This democracy can't. They focused on Facebook ads that nobody saw. The media was completely blindsided. Completely blindsided. I mean, utterly and completely blindsided. They were only a few people. I was one of the people on the left. I was actually the only person, I think, on the left saying Clinton will lose. I wrote in The Hill, The Huffington Post, and Salon that. Sticks, X and Hammer, way better than me. He called individual states. You had a few other people saying that, but I mean, on the left, because I was on the Huffington Post, The Hill, and Salon, nobody was saying that. And it's like then they come up with, Steele dossier. The Steele dossier. The Steele dossier, Christopher Steele, John Durham is going to speak to Christopher Steele. Going to ask, hey, so you had a vendetta against Trump. Oh, okay. Did you let the FBI know about this vendetta? Did you verify any of the statements made? And he already said no. The statements he made were completely false. And it's like, I love Alan Dershowitz, Professor Dershowitz. He's absolutely fantastic. And he was on Hannity, and every time he's on Hannity or every time he's on Fox, and he's just fantastic. I have a great deal of respect for Alan Dershowitz. But every time he's like, we need to make sure that this, that people understand you can't do this, and for civil libertarians, and, there shouldn't be a special counsel ever again. Oh, no, wait a second now. So the left Democrats get to utilize the United States government for corrupt means, but Trump can't utilize the United States government for, against people who actually committed crimes. So they fabricate crimes with him, but he can't use the special counsel against Clinton? Really? Why not? They've already set the precedent. They always set precedents. The left always sets precedents that hurts them. Mitch McConnell was like, hey, you might not want to make it just a simple majority vote for Supreme Court. It's okay. We're going to win with Clinton. Oh, well, too bad. Now you got Gorsuch and now you got Kavanaugh. And you'll get Amy Coney Barrett. So, didn't work out too well for you, huh, Democrats? It used to be a supermajority, like 60 votes. Now it's just a simple majority. It was the Democrats that wanted that. It didn't work out for him, did it? Now they want the popular vote to overshadow the Electoral College, but they don't realize that there could be a time in the not too distant future where media turns away from them, and money flows go to conservatives, a new brand of conservatives, not Bush conservatives, not Reagan conservatives, whatever. Maybe Reagan conservatives in more of a foreign policy, less interventionist. President Obama engaged in far more interventions than Reagan. But they don't realize, they're like, yeah, we won the popular vote. Yeah, because you outspent Trump 2-1 and you have the entire media, essentially. Madam Cyberhack, the Golden Moo, essentially controls the entire media. What do you expect? Media is basically an extension of Bill Clinton. I love when you talk about my extension. So they think that because they won the popular vote, it's like a mandate. No, you paid for that. You spent the money, $1.2 billion to $600 million in Trump. Clinton spent $1.2 billion. She'll raise over $2 billion this go around. And yes, how does she run? She's running. Okay. Don't be so flabbergasted. What, really? Yeah, really. Yeah. She's got until November. And I can annoy you until November. Every single day. It's important to realize, why is this all happening? Why? Why is this happening, ladies and gentlemen? Don't just say, oh, indictments are coming, like I always do, and they eventually will come. Forget about the indictments for a second. Clinton doesn't care. She could be indicted tomorrow by William Barr. She'd still run. And they would still vote for her. They have lost it. They are not in the realm. They're no longer like walking among us. They work alongside of us. We might be married to them. We might have family members, but they literally think Clinton deleted yoga emails, and they don't care. They don't realize she had Clinton Foundation pay-to-play bribery racketeering emails. They don't get it. They think that Uranium One gave money into the Clinton Foundation as a coincidence, just like the 85 donors gave $156 million into the Clinton Foundation and met Hillary Clinton. They think that Bill Clinton got $1 million for his birthday. It was all coincidence. This is the DNC and the campaign emails. They don't know what those things are, yet they know it influenced the election. They don't care. They don't care that she transferred top secret intelligence outside of the United States government. They wouldn't even care even if they were given evidence that her server was hacked by China or Russia or anything. They wouldn't care. They wouldn't care even if, without a shadow of a doubt, Clinton caused major damage to national security. They wouldn't care. They don't care. It's like that old meme with the iPhone. I want iPhone. But the Android does the same thing. I don't care. Android's cheaper. I don't care. They don't care. So, like, the Trump Derangement Syndrome, I have a website coming out to defeat Trump Derangement Syndrome. You will love it. It's a membership website that you can enjoy via membership. It's worth it. You will love it. But you can't... The days where... Because it's taken me a long time to reach this conclusion, too. The days where you find out that, hey... But Joseph Mifsud and this Ukrainian businessman, they linked to the State Department. Don't you see this is bizarre? And then she purchased the Steele dossier, and CrowdStrike was outsourced by Democrats, and Alexander Downer is linked to the Clinton Foundation. And then you have two major figures who are said to be Russian operatives linked to the State Department. But this looks like really shady. I don't care. We don't care. It doesn't matter. And who cares if it is? They know that it's linked. Half of the liberals, half the people on the left know that it's linked to Clinton. They don't care. You're not talking about when she runs again, there'll be some pushback. But it'll be like basically like Kleenex or like, tissue paper in terms of resistance. And she'll slice through it with her like, samurai sword of, bizarre cultish allegiance, guilt trip. They're gonna tell you you're not voting for Hillary, but she lost again. She's horrendous. You're a Trumper. And that's the worst. Like, that's the worst thing on the left. I'm a very proud Trump supporter. I love being a Trump supporter. Love being a Trump supporter. He's a great president. Peace between North and South Korea. The beginning of peace between record low Black and Latino unemployment. If the rebuttal is, well, Obama started, even if it's not true, but even if that's the rebuttal, a record high in unemployment was also there. So you could only go down. But the average GDP under President Obama was 1.6%. The GDP for 2016 was 1.6%. Okay, the economy was on a downturn. Trump comes to office, immediately goes up, but also, forget about not just 2017, 2018, goes up tremendously. It's looking good for 2019 also. Record low, 50-year low in unemployment. 500,000 manufacturing jobs, 300,000 lost under Obama. First Step Act compared to 94 crime bill. We can go on forever, but he doesn't get any. They just focus on his personality as if they were as if Clinton had like this award-winning personality. Why aren't I 50 points ahead, you might ask? So, my segments, the reason they go so long is because it's not just about Durham indicting people. He will eventually. He's already put away and indicted and convicted FBI agents for decades. He's no joke. James Comey knows what's going on. He knows what's going on. They all know what's going on. That's why they're running scared. But all of this is about the stranglehold, the psychological and emotional just control, essentially, that the two people have over the entire Democratic Party and media at this point in U.S. history. That's going to come crashing down. Madam Cyberhack's going to lose again. Now, who knows when she'll announce? It's only June. I mean, June, July, August, September, October, November, 5 more months. She can just wait it out. I'm voting for Trump, but I've already had enough of hearing about Bernie and Biden. If you combine the two names, it's just burden. That's if you combine Bernie and Biden, it's burden. And that's just burdensome to hear about these two people. But Bernie's message has been swallowed up and repackaged by candidates that haven't made it past 10% in the Democratic polls. And then Bernie is seen as a misogynist and all that by people to the left of him who, oddly enough, love Clinton. Interesting. And a racist who, oddly enough, love Clinton. The left to see their implosion. That's one of the reasons I am just not on Twitter anymore. Not on Twitter. Not on Facebook. And those places are going to be so horrible. I hate the word toxic. It's such a liberal left term. It's such a lame. It's going to be unhealthy and dangerous. Social media is going to be an unhealthy place and a waste of time, and a place where people will just spew venom and vent and just do everything possible to demean and disparage, pretty much the same as 2016, but even more so. Because this is the last hurrah. For this paradigm of, if you've lasted this long, hopefully you enjoy my rambling, but for this paradigm of liberal thought, because media was never like this. Like, I looked at NBC News, a headline right before I started this segment, and it's like NBC News is like the inside story behind why William Barr is trying to discredit Mueller. Like, what? NBC News? You're supposed to be, one of the three major, not a cable station, not an MSNBC, CNN, but just, that's a partisan take on things. What if Mueller is wrong, which he is? Why would you pretend that Mueller's this saint? Even the leftists, they're going to subpoena Mueller, which is hilarious. They want to. That's going to backfire also. They'll be like, you want me to come? I'll show you something. I'll show you a thing or two. And he'll deliberately be so vague that Democrats will be like, please give us something. Say you hate him. Say he's horrible, please. We need something. They want to hold William Barr in contempt. They're going to vote for contempt. And then they're going to try to enforce. It's they'll go whenever they take anything to the Supreme Court, because all of this stuff will eventually reach the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court's going to be like, well, what did he do? He wouldn't give us the entire report. Well, he didn't even have to give you any of the report, and he's not going to give you grand jury information. You're literally asking him to break the law. Well, he miscategorized. He summarized the Mueller report, and he made people think that Trump wasn't that bad. Well, who cares the reality is Mueller didn't indict Trump, didn't prosecute Trump, didn't even say that Trump committed crimes, and he could have indicted Trump. These are Justice Department memos. They're not bound by a protocol. They broke protocol throughout this special counsel, so they were bound by protocol. Their only goal in life was to find some kind of thing they can get Trump on. They didn't, because he didn't do anything. So all of this is under the is within the paradigm, context, umbrella, backdrop, whatever you want. This is all a massive battle for the future of American politics. But media, the Democratic Party, Hollywood, the major influencers, you would think, the biggest voices in media, in journalism, in Hollywood, you would think that comedians and actors and pundits and even the majority of YouTube, and it's like you would think that they had enough influence to just ensure Madame Cyberhack, the Golden Muumuu, would win. But they didn't. You would think they would have enough influence to prevent a second term of Trump, but they don't. What they've done is they've dragged the country through the mud, and if they don't get their way, it's a biblical temper tantrum. But when they lose again with Clinton, the entire paradigm is going to just collapse. Right now, they're amplifying their most nonsensical, loudest voices on the extreme left. That's not going to work after 2020. Even CNN's Don Lemon is like, you know what? It's so divisive. It's like, you're one of the major figures in making it divisive. On 24/7, there hasn't been one. Isn't it interesting how there hasn't been one positive news story? Not one. On Trump, on any of those networks. And you had, with Obama, you had, polite interviews with him on Fox. That doesn't transfer, it wasn't the same contempt. At least not towards the end of his presidency. But with CNN, MSNBC, it's always adversarial. New York Times, Washington Post, always adversarial. Always adversarial. Just, oh my God. But that's the thing. I mean, you're going to see, I think that the paradigm, the prevailing paradigm, the outrage culture, the social media culture, the social media influence on our society, you're going to see after 2020, there's going to be a massive foundational paradigm shift. Suddenly being a Trump supporter is not only going to be accepted, but the media is going to gravitate more. It won't be a complete transformation, but they'll realize that they've been on the wrong side this whole time. And they'll realize that, hey, you know what? It's actually more lucrative to be even-handed than to be these maniacal zealots. Because being maniacal zealots doesn't work. They don't get that. Right now it's lucrative for them. They don't get how it still just doesn't work. Give me your thoughts below. William Barr knows exactly why Mueller is not testifying. And he also knows exactly why two of the major figures are linked to the State Department in the Mueller report. If you want to support my voice, ladies and gentlemen, your support is greatly, greatly appreciated. Thank goodness my channel is okay and my voice is okay, but I'm super cautious. But sometimes, it is tough, depending on one word in the algorithm that, you're like, what? What did I say? So your support, though, on my Patreon link is greatly appreciated. If you enjoy my voice and you want to just ensure that I remain an independent voice, and I'm able to just, speak my mind. If you'd like, my Patreon link is in the pinned comment. And read my writing in the Jerusalem Post, the Federalist, the Daily Caller, but also in the pinned comment is Rush Limbaugh's discussion when he spoke about my latest Federalist article. Very proud that he did. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Definitely check out everything today on this channel.